Vintage Cube season is back, and I think I'm gonna start off by taking Yawgmoth's Will. One reason is that this pack is not that great, doesn't have too many good cards. I also think it would be maybe possible to wheel High Tide. Storm is not a archetype that's giving you high win percentage, but it's very fun, and Yawgmoth's Will is very powerful. So of course looking for cards like a Lion's Eye Diamond, Black Lotus, of course, Dark Rituals, and things like that. Here I'm gonna take Griselbrand. I might be abandoning Yawgmoth's Will and go into Reanimator. I could also be some kind of mono black Reanimator Storm. Doesn't happen too often, but you can actually have enough mana cards in black. Cabal Ritual, Dark Ritual, all the colorless cards, Yawgmoth's Will, Demonic Tutor. And you can sometimes throw in cards like Hume to Torak. This pack's also not great. I think the best card in the pack is actually Griselbrand, no matter where you go. Because you can play Griselbrand in Sneak, Attack, and regular Reanimator. Treachery is good too, but Treachery is not even that good in all matchups. Alright, so now I'm going to put to the test, because here is Through the Breach, which works wonders with Griselbrand. But there is also Dark Ritual, which works very good in some kind of mono black storm. With Yawgmoth's Will, I could also be blue black storm. Nothing says that it has to be mono black. But I think I'm going to take Dark Ritual, so good with Yawgmoth's Will. And Chrome Mox is a card you can also play in this deck. It's a little less good than Dark Ritual, I think, though. But it's a good card. I wouldn't mind wheeling Chrome Mox. I could also take Collective Brutality. Best card in the pack, probably Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Just a very good card in Vintage Cube 2. Okay. So now we see a Vampire Hexmage. I could throw Dark Depths in there if I wanted to. Crypticon is too hard on the mana, and it's not even that good in Storm. I think that Vampire Hexmage has a lot of potential with Dark Depths. There is also Bloodstained Mire, opens up the option, let's say I get back the High Tide. Now I can go and get myself an Underground Sea. This is not easy. It's also Verdant Catacombs. Verdant Catacombs and Bloodstained Mire is sort of similar. You know what? I think I'm going to take Vampire Hexmage just in case I get Dark Depths. Then also I could maybe wheel one of the two fetch lands. I think that might be easier. Okay, so now there is Dark Depths. Yeah, I'm probably going to take it here. I mean, Archon of Cruelty, another card that is good to reanimate. And Preordain is just a fine card. But once you take Vampire Hexmage, you're going to take Dark Depths. Because now I can also pick up Thespian Stage. And black is a card that has tutors, so it has Demonic Tutor, Vampiric Tutor, Imperial Seal. Might even be some more expensive tutors, I don't know. But Dark Depths it is. Ooh, Reanimate. Yep. This is gonna be a brew. Funnily enough, the card I'm most unsure about right now is Yawgmoth's Will. I could just be a Reanimator and not play a Storm, but this is starting to look very fun. The new Snapcaster Mage. You can play it for 7, I guess. Doesn't seem that great. It's also Ashiok, which is a little off what I want to do here, I think. It's the kind of card that is good in a controlling deck to deck your opponent or get some value. Doesn't seem very good right here. Not a Triumph. I might just take Murderous Rite as a fine card. It's not great though, but if you're mono black storm, you might sometimes have to fill out your curve. Ooh, easy Lotus Petal, I think, over Dark Confidant. First of all, Dark Confidant can be pretty painful in a deck like this with Griselbrand. And Lotus Petal is just awesome with Yawgmoth's Will. And Show and Tell Griselbrand, yeah, sure. I mean, it's interesting. Okay. Triumph, Duress, High Tide. I think I'm gonna take Duress. I might just be mono black storm here. High Tide does not look good when you're this heavy black, and Duress just make sure your opponent can't interact with you. Alright, so now I can choose between Bayou and Blood Crypt. Both cards that could open up the potential for fetch lands to be decent. I probably wouldn't splash too many green cards. I think I'm more likely to splash a red card. Alright. Oath of Druids. Though Vampire Hexmage sort of makes that awkward. Gonna take Darkslick Shores. I mean, let's say I get Ancestor, I'm gonna play that, of course. So I might wanna splash some blue cards, put this here. Alright, so what do I want? I have one Reanimator card, I want more. I want Tutors. I want some Tendrils. I could also splash Brain Freeze, I guess. I want, of course, Lion's Eye Diamond is great. Oh, I did wheel a fetch land. Nice. We'll see whether that fetch land is even gonna do that much, but if nothing else, it's a little bit of value with Yawgmoth's Will. You can replay the fetch land. But sometimes you're having Yawgmoth's Will, but you don't have a land drop for the turn. And then Yawgmoth's Will helps you with that. Evolved Sleeper. Probably not, but I can maybe side it in against an aggressive deck. I don't know. That's not even that good. Mana Flare more likely the Murktide Regent. And Life from the Low. Actually not completely unreasonable with Dark Depths, but now I get put to the test because I have Demonic Tutor or Mana Crypt. Both are awesome in this deck, but I just think that this kind of deck wants Demonic Tutor more. My thought process here is that while Mana Crypt is awesome, it's a little more replaceable in a sense with other mana ramp. It's one of the best mana cards you can get, of course. But Demonic Tutor is just so good when you have cards like Griselbrand to reanimate, Dark Depths combo. I just think Demonic Tutor is what I want here. It's tough though, but there we go. Alright. Bazaar of Baghdad is not unreasonable. Especially since Skull Clamp doesn't look too good. I mean, I have a Hex Mage, but Hearse is a good sideboard card. Sneak Attack, but I've sort of... So the pick is between Bazaar of Baghdad and Sneak Attack, I think. Can sort of exclude the rest. Even though Ignite Memories is a Storm card, it's a card I can wheel. I think I'm more likely to wheel Bazaar of Baghdad, and Sneak Attack is nice with Griselbrand. Tough. I think I'm gonna take Bazaar. It's just, I don't think I want to play another color here. Fiend Artisan. No. Packrat is a card that could help me get Griselbrand in the graveyard. Underground Sea is another card to help me splash some blue card I could get in the future. This is tough. I think I'll take Packrat to enable my Reanimator cards. I only have one right now, but I could get more later. And there are some matchups where Packrat could just win. I think Dorothy Voidwalk is a good card. It doesn't ask much of you, and it steals your opponent's card, goes to graveyard. So it's pretty solid. And since I'm heavy black, I can easily play it. Alternatively, Cursive Portal. But now also getting enough creatures with Hexmage, Packrat and Dorothy Voidwalker that I could get Recurring Nightmare as well. Okay, Emry, Dimir Signet, Mishra's Bauble. I think Mishra's Bauble is nice here. It means that I'm playing a 39 card deck. It also works with Yawgmoth's Will. Can Yawgmoth's Will for value. It's a 0 mana card for Storm. And while Emry is nice, it's only have Lotus Petal at this point. Okay, Muir, Battle Sphere, Remand. Remand is the best card in the pack, but I think I'm gonna take Mesmeric Fiend. Just a good interactive card, and it helps if I get... Maybe I can get Skull Clamp back. Not that Skull Clamp is the best combo with Mesmeric Fiend, because the opponent gets the card back, but... Ooh, Necromancy. It's not the best reanimator card because it's free color. It's 3 mana card, but it's a nice one. I think 3 mana is still reasonable, especially when you have Dark Ritual, Lotus Petal. So now I'm really looking for Entomb. Entomb would be awesome. I would also like Tendrils, probably, to go with Yawgmoth's Will. Because this deck, while it can get Griselbrand into play by now 2 ways, it's not that easy to win the game if your opponent can answer Griselbrand. So you can draw a lot of cards. Your opponent can even maybe Swords to Plowshares as Griselbrand, then I get a lot of life. But how do I win? And the answer often is Tendrils. Okay, XU, awesome. Fatal Push, Scatter of God, Mystical Tutor, all reasonable cards, but Exhume is just awesome. So I should probably get Entomb if it gets open. Mono Black Storm it is. Kind of cool. I have to remember that 2 of my lands does not tap for mana. So a card like Urborg, which I don't know if it's in the cube or not, could be okay. I think Trespass is a sideboard card at this point. Sneak Attack Wield. I don't think I want Scrapheap Scoundrel. It doesn't really... Well, it is sweet that it's a 3/2 for 2 that has a black activated ability. What does it even do? Take Sneak Attack. I think I saw Emrakul earlier though, so I'm not gonna get Emrakul. And right now I don't think Sneak Attack is worth it just for Griselbrand. Okay, Field of the Dead now. Whoa, Strider. Or Splash Emry. Still Emry is not great. I think I'm more likely to play Woe Strider. Can Entomb Woe Strider. Not that good. Alright. I could cut some of the cards here, like I could cut Woe Strider, I could cut Shriek more. I put them in my deck for now though. I really hope Urborg is in this cube and I get it. I want Entomb, I want Lion's Eye Diamond. Now I can Entomb for Lingering Souls. And I get not much. Takenuma, Karn, Tinker, Toxic Deluge. I think I may just take Toxic Deluge. It's nice to have a sweeper against like mono green, mono white. You can set up things pretty nicely. Takenuma is also a card I can probably wheel. Karn is pretty slow and it basically just draws card in not a great way. I don't have too many artifacts, so I guess I'll take Toxic Deluge. And Jace better than all. Alternatively, there is Inquisition, which I'm not too interested in, or Imperial Seal. I think that's going to be my pick. It's not the greatest tutor, but it's when you have powerful cards like Griselbrand, Yawgmoth's Will, Hexmage Dark Depths, it gets the job done. Massacre Worm, a card that is okay to reanimate. Not the worst. Time Spiral. Yikes. That's a card I would have liked, but I think I'm gonna take Coalition Relic. A little bit of mana ramp. Still haven't seen Entomb, but I have 4 more picks to get Entomb or Tendrils. You also get Thespian Stage. It's too late to get any power. I don't think it's unreasonable to get Lion's Eye Diamond. But the card I probably want the most is Entomb, especially with tutors. Steel Syrup, probably not. There is Thoughtseize, another interaction. Taxian Pro, 0 mana card, but at this point I don't even have Storm cards. Ashen Riders, another reanimated target. Thoughtseize is good. It's not the card I wanted, but it's the card I deserve, I guess. Yeah, this looked pretty good after the first pack, but it's been pretty rough. I'm getting the reanimator card, I'm just not getting the mana cards, that's a problem. But we can still salvage this, I think. So I kind of wanna... yeah. Guess I'll take Brain Freeze, and I'm not convinced I can play Brain Freeze here. I'm not sure it does enough, but it's pretty close though. We'll see. So since my Dark Depths, where did you go? So since Dark Depths and Bazaar neither makes any mana, kind of can't count them as lands. They're sort of like spells. In which case I can put them here, and I have 26 minus 3, 23 playables. Although I could see this deck playing 16 mana sources in a sense because of having a pretty low curve. It's not like I'm gonna hardcast Griselbrand. Oh man, Mind's Desire. I'm gonna take it here, but I don't like it. Seems like it may have been better to be Blue-Black Storm, but... Oh. Here's some good cards. To Learn Academy. Corpse Dance, Bone Shards. I think Bone Shards is going to be pretty great in this deck because it can put some of my reanimated target in the grave and it can deal with permanents. I don't need another Corpse Dance memory artifact. Okay. So Brain Freeze, I do have Lotus Petal, Relic to play it. I can throw in a Dark Slick Shores. Oh, it's already there. Alright. Karn. Inquisition. Voe Strider can go to make room for Brain Freeze. This gives me a nice way to win when I get Griselbrand into play. But yeah, I should have been blue-black, I think. Yeah. Oh well. Echo of Eons. On the play here. Ooh, so I can just DT for some way to get Griselbrand in my grave. That could be Bone Shards. Or it could be Bazaar of Baghdad. I could also alternatively play Mesmeric Fiend on turn 2 and see what's up, but do have potential with this hand. And the nice thing is that Mesmeric Fiend doesn't put the card in the graveyard, so it doesn't make Exhume awkward. Sometimes if you force your opponent and take a very good creature, it's gonna be awkward to cast Exhume, because you won't get the card back. Blue, huh? And the Mox, okay. And Scrap Pipsground. Okay, I didn't expect that. Imperial Seal. So I think I'm gonna start with Mesmeric Fiend to see, take a counter spell. If there is such a thing. No, there's a Revoker. Revoker doesn't, I mean, it makes Griselbrand awkward, but I could also take Vendilion Click, because that could be bad for me. Muldrifter is not a huge problem. Even though Muldrifter does make Exhume a lot worse. Yeah, how about I take Muldrifter, because it makes Exhume so awkward. My opponent could find an answer to Griselbrand. Because if my opponent evokes Muldrifter, there's also 2 cards deeper to find the interaction card. And Vendilion Click, first of all, my opponent needs another blue source for that. But also, it's hard for Vendilion Click to stop me because the card goes to the bottom, so I could just find it since I have 2 tutors. Let's see if my opponent blindly revokers here. No, cast Oblivion Stone. Okay, that doesn't bother me too much. Ooh, Thoughtseize is nice. So now I can Demonic Tutor for the Bone Shards. So my thought process is I don't wanna Bone Shards now, because that gives away the deal. The deal is that then my opponent can revoke a Griselbrand, and while I still get to have a 7/7, that stops me from doing what I want. So I think I want to do it all in one turn. And I don't want to Thoughtseize either, I can wait a turn. This is a weird deck. Oblivion Stone and Scrap Pipsground. Could have Imperial Seal, but I don't really know what I want Imperial Seal for. What is gonna revoke? Okay. If my opponent revokes Griselbrand, he's a genius. But that's pretty hard. I can do Bone Shards if I have to. But I kind of don't want to, because if I Bone Shards Revoker and Exhume, my opponent can Revoker the Griselbrand when it comes back. Opponent has Grief. That doesn't do anything because Grief has an activated ability. Oh, some Massacre Worm, huh? That's interesting. So now I can Bone Shards plus Massacre Worm. Huh. Could also Thoughtseize myself, I guess. Nah. So destroy that. And then Exhume. Hope I'm putting draw Spell Pierce. Pick up draw cards now. It's pretty safe, and I want to hit my land drop. So I drew Lotus Petal and play Lotus Petal. Then opponent has Vendilion Click in hand. You can Thoughtseize that away. Go to 5. And Forge Master. Yeah. Play Dark Short tapped. And my opponent needs to find an answer to Griselbrand. Which is pretty hard, that mana situation. I mean, yeah, I can Oblivion Stone, but that's 2 more mana. It wouldn't even be that bad for me, because my opponent loses the Mox, all creatures, and I can maybe get Griselbrand back at some point. Not with Reanimate, but... Alright, so I'm not really sure what I'm playing against here, but... Some blue-black artifact aggro with Oblivion Stone. Yeah. I think Custody Lich is not great. I might want just one Woe Strider to get some blockers into play. Seems pretty good against Scrappy Scrounger. And the rest seems worse than Inquisition in this matchup, I think. Okay, another card. Here's Brainfuse where it's awkward, but I think that Demonic Tutor ties the room together. I might Demonic Tutor for Bazaar of Baghdad and try to find a way to get Exhume going. I think I'm gonna bobble my opponent here, but... Alright. Cast Bauble. Bauble my opponent. Winter Orb, okay. The plot thickens. Winter Orb is a card I'm not that scared of, to be honest. It's gonna be a little awkward, but my deck can function on low mana. Now there's a creature, so now I just need to find a way to get it in my graveyard. Okay, Revoker. What has Winter Orb in hand? Name's Griselbrand, makes sense. Okay, so I'm gonna Demonic Tutor even though I don't have... my opponent has Winter Orb. And now I can... Could be Bone Shards again, or it could be Bazaar of Baghdad. I have a lot of cards in hand. I think Bazaar of Baghdad is going to be good here. Mishra's Factory. Card that is resistant to Massacre. Okay, see if my opponent Vendilion clicks me here. Yeah, this is a Vendilion click, unfortunately. Probably gonna take Exhume. Could take Massacre, because that's the most threatening card. But I'm on a clock here, and my opponent has 7 power in play. See if my opponent takes the right card. You can't take lands, although... Yeah, can't take Bazaar then. I would probably take Massacre, but opponent took Brain Freeze. Okay, that's not the card I expected. I'm not gonna... My opponent could have Daze, Force of Will, Force of Negation, but what are you gonna do? I know one of the cards is Winter Orb too. Okay, gonna assume here, so I can reanimate later. Maybe reanimate one of my opponent's creatures. Because you want to cast Exhume before your opponent can get something back, ideally. And the only downside was I could get gotten dazed, but that's so unlikely. Okay, I think I'm gonna untap the Dark Shores. I don't need to Bazaar right now, because I can just... okay, I'm gonna start by Inquisition, see what's happening. Okay, yeah, Force of Negation, but not a blue card. Okay. Opponent can jump with Factory here, but don't think I care. Also, Revoker can't name land, so I can't Revoker Factory. Think... I might just reanimate Click here to put my opponent on a large clock. I'm gonna click myself for Lotus Pedal, I think. Okay. Opponent needs to find an answer very soon. Ancestor Vision is not the answer. Alright. Ritual is... don't do much here, but gives me 4 mana, so I can't play Pact Rat and make a token. But okay, I want prevents 4 damage here with Factory. But also has to tap some lands. Put this dead next turn. Let's just play Pact Rat. And I'm not even sure if there's a card in the entire set that gives my one back here, but I don't think so. Alright, we got round 1 at least. Play again. Oh man, so close. So I have 1 land, Demonic Tutor Exhume. So if I draw a land, I get Demonic Tutor for... I'm still missing a big payoff Reanimator. I'm gonna ship this, I think. Alright, this is a better hand. So I'm gonna put... I think let's make Fiend on the bottom. It's not a good comp with Toxic Deluge. And I'm going to first start by bobbling myself. See if I find a land. Because if I don't find a land, I might wanna Imperial Seal for a land. But I did find a land. Okay, so I don't have to seal. I can Thoughtseize. So blue-green ramp. Blue Mox, Lanor Elf, Sylvan Library, Time Up, Ullamo. Kind of tempted to take Sylvan Library here just because it lets my opponent see a lot of cards. I could also take the Mox, but since, if my opponent is a mana ramp deck, the Mox is not the end all be all. I'm gonna take Sylvan Library here. Also, I have Toxic Deluge for the Lanor Elves, maybe. To draw my Darkslick Shores, and opponent drew Botanical Sanctum. Okay, so Dolphy Voidwalker here. Can maybe steal a Time Warp at some point, but I can. Doesn't mess up Toxic Deluge because A, I can cast Toxic Deluge for 1 life, and B, I can sack the Voidwalker maybe. So next time opponent could Time Warp, but Ulamog is pretty far off. If I had a Reanimate in my hand, I might have just taken Ulamog. But since I didn't have a Reanimate, it wasn't really something I wanted to do. Attack, and do I want a Toxic Deluge here? Kill the elf. there's still a blood crypt in my deck for no reason. I have to change that. So if I Imperial Seal, what do I Imperial Seal for? I don't have any combos, so I think I'm just gonna Toxic Delude for 1 life then. Slow down my opponent a little bit. Prevent. Also I can steal a land rails if I want to. But that's not particularly exciting. Okay, bone shards. So now if I draw like a Griselbrand, I can Imperial Seal for a Reanimator card and then bone shards with Griselbrand. But for the moment, still don't think Imperial Sealing is good. Okay, so now my opponent could Time Warp. Doesn't do much, but it's still... It's actually a little awkward for my opponent to Time Warp because it means that I could Time Walk at some point. So my opponent doesn't even do it, okay. Makes sense. But Ulamog is still a little bit off. Sure. Okay. So I could Imperial Seal for Vampire Hexmage and then make a 20/20. Yeah, it's because if my opponent Time Warps, this also means that I can win. We can make a 20/20 and then take an extra turn. So my opponent needs something here. If my opponent has drawn just lands, it's gonna be game over, I think. Oh. Okay. That also stops my Imperial Seal. Okay, that's not good. That's probably game. Although I can bribery now. That's fun. Opponent can't draw cards with Griselbrand though, because then I just attack my opponent with a shadow creature. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Alright. That was the solution. Alright, so now what? I can Bone Shards Massacre by discarding a card. But I don't have anything now. Duress, yeah. Unfortunately, this is probably game, but don't have anything else. Also, I mean, the Massacre Worm goes to my graveyard at least, but that bribery was brutal. Because not only did it get my opponent a Massacre Worm, killed my shadow creature, it also messed up my Imperial Seal. I should probably take out Imperial Seal, not because they necessarily, I just don't fit, I think it's the worst card in my deck. Almost reach, okay. But if I draw a way to get back Massacre Worm, maybe I have a little bit of a chance, but Pound can also now Time Warp without too much worry. Yawgmoth's Will would be an interesting top deck as well. Though next time my opponent's gonna get to Ulamog. No? Thought my opponent was gonna time warp and then Ulamog. But I guess not. Okay. Let's see here. I'm on a green-blue ramp with time warp bribery. Bribery is gonna be a rough card, but at least I have Thoughtseize and Duress. I think Custody Lich is pretty bad against the green. I think Shriekmaw is better. Shriekmaw is a lot better. Doesn't do much. Imperial Seal, I think it's the worst card in my deck. I just want Inquisition. It looks pretty good against when my opponent has Mock, Sylvan Library, Elves. No. Okay. Yeah. This hand only needs a Griselbrand to be a winning. And I have Bauble to dig there. Or, I mean, Massacre is also really good against a green-based creature deck. Here I'm gonna Bauble myself. The old Bauble Fetchland combo. Demonic Tutor, yeah, I will keep that. I will keep that. Then let's play around Wasteland, I guess. The Demonic Tutor is very nice, because now I can use Demonic Tutor for Griselbrand. Tropical, see if there's a Mox. Utopia Sprawl. That's basically a Mox. Except cost 1 mana. Chosen color is green. Alright, Toxic Luch is not bad. Demonic for Griselbrand, I think. It's gonna be the best this early in the game. Especially since I drew Toxic Deluge, so I have insurance against creatures. Hope I don't get channeled here. Channel Ulamog. Unfortunately, that would probably be game. Because I would lose my lands and can't reanimate anything unless I draw Ritual. But okay, there is a problem here that... Okay, no, never mind. I was gonna say there was a problem in that I didn't have a target for Bone Shards, but now I do. Alright, so Bone Shards. I was gonna get that card back, but whatever. It's the downside of Exhume. But I get a Griselbrand. Or do I? Is there a force a negation? Oh man, this is not my day, huh? Oh well. So my opponent gets to put my graveyard on the bottom and gets to put a creature into play. Oh well. That's why I put cards like Endurance in the cube, I guess. It's to put my Exhume in the on the bottom, so I can't Yogurt's Will. It's probably a good play. I mean, the downside is that I can maybe tutor it up again, but the upside is that cards like Yogurt's Will. Alright, this brain tree is looking pretty silly here. I would probably just pay 8 life here, but I guess it's a bit, since my opponent doesn't necessarily know I don't have Tendrils, so I don't know. I would at least pay 4 life, I think. Okay, my opponent didn't pay any life, but I guess it's gonna shuffle some bad cards away. So at the very least, the Griselbrand is still in my deck, so it's not exile. Oh, I forgot to take that card out. Okay, doesn't matter. But I think I want to wait on Toxic Deluge. It's just I want something more than a 3/4. I'm going to put this 4 life here. Reasonable. Just Cradle. Rofellas, okay. It's a little awkward to play Rofellas with this many non-forest, but it's probably still a fine card. Now I can Toxic Deluge though. But this Shelldock is looming. Puts down to 27 with Sylvan Library in play. Pay 4 life. Not gonna play around Giant Growth. Still not in good shape, and I'm not gonna Brain Freeze, especially with the Shelldock in play. The Brain Freeze is mostly in my deck so I can win a little bit easier with Griselbrand, but it's very possible that wasn't a good idea to start with. I could have just won with my other cards, so it's possible. What if I want to take away a lesson from this draft is that maybe I shouldn't have played Brain Freeze. Oh well, I think I'm going to Finn here. I don't have any Brainstorm effects. Okay, I will actually let's Brain Freeze myself here. This is desperation, but maybe I can Brain Freeze away my good targets, you know. And maybe I'll top deck Jormung's Will. Collision Relic, Hex Mage, Swamp. Okay, we'll see you next week.